Hi everyone, this is TLG, and today we're going to be clearing Spiral Abyss patch 2.1 using my F2P account, and we're going to be clearing floor 11 and floor 12 because those are the only floors that matter. So let's get on it. So for my first team, I tried to use like a Morgana team, but instead of having Ganyu, I used Rosaria instead because I don't have Ganyu in my F2P account. So my main objective in this group is, since I have Diona, I wanted to cast her healing spell as often as I can. So somehow I used Rosaria as her battery to help her collect energy particles so she can cast her healing spell as often as she can. And aside from casting her healing spell, since Venti is my crowd control person, I wanted to use his E ability as often as I can also, so that his elemental burst is always ready. While for my second group, I used like the national team featuring Maiden as the main DPS. Since Bennett is my primary healer in this group, it means he can only heal the person who is currently active, but that shouldn't be a problem if you often like to quick swap everyone, just like I do. So this is how I just normally play even before the corrosion debuff patch was applied. I often like to quick swap everyone for fast DPS. So despite the corrosion debuff, you really want to DPS everything as fast as you can before the debuff damage accumulates. And as you can see, there's really no need to use Barbara, Jean, or even Chi-Chi. Especially if you didn't build them up. You can just use Bennett or Diona, just like I do. And that's 11-1. We're now going to 11-2. Try to crowd control everyone as fast as you can. If you don't have Venti, you can actually just use Sucrose, because that's what I'll do if I didn't have Venti. Since this is a floor where crowd control matters a lot. If you have Venti, it just really makes everything easier. Especially for floors like this where there's lots of mobs. And the corrosion debuff is really strong. But if you just rotate properly with your characters, there shouldn't be any problem healing everyone alternately. Just keep swapping and swapping so that everyone gets healed up eventually. So if your playstyle is constantly quick swapping, there shouldn't be any problem at all. So 11-2 second group. So those big samurais in this chamber are really tanky, but that shouldn't be a problem if you have a crowd control person. For this group, my crowd control person was Kazuha. And since Raiden is still new in the game, I'm still trying to familiarize myself with her DPS rotation. But using her in this abyss really helped me a lot to be more familiar with Raiden's DPS rotation and her elemental stack resolve. And as you can see, Raiden Shogun really shines on the Spiral Abyss, because whenever you try to use Raiden Shogun in the Outworld, everything just dies so fast, right? Like, you don't even get a chance to use her Elemental Burst there, or even if you get a chance to use her Elemental Burst in the Outworld, at the outset, everything just dies. You don't even you get the chance to use her Elemental Burst on a second or third cycle. But the Spiral Abyss is actually a good place where you can cycle her Elemental Burst a lot of times.
Time for takeoff. Brace yourself.
So for this group, the main problems are actually those CCing mages. So try to crowd control them and burst them as fast as you can before they get a chance to teleport all over the place, or before they can even cast their shield. Because once they cast their shield, they become such a big pain. And this should be the last chamber. So for this, I just focused on the big guy because I know the other mobs will eventually just come close to me. No need to chase them around. Since Bennett's healing ability is so strong, everything just gets healed so fast. And it's also a great help if you have a lot of energy recharge stacked in your healers. Like there. And that's 11-3. So we now go to 12th floor. For the 12th floor, there's no more corrosion debuff. So everything is just back to normal. So everything here just depends on your DPS rotation. So clear everything as fast as you can. And as I was saying before, it's really a great help if you have lots of energy lots of energy recharge invested in your healers, because that means they can cast their healing ability as often as they can.
Time for takeoff.
And the second group. So for this, my initial problem was this flying guy, but I think if you have a Ganyu, this should be also easier. So in my case, but it's still not a problem if I didn't have a Ganyu. In this floor, the main problem are these specters, since they're somehow tanky. So I wanted to use Raiden to DPS them down, since for some reason her electro damage seems good against these specters. And by the way, as you can see, Using Senchu and Raiden, they really synergize well together. Since Raiden's main form of attack is constant normal melee attack, having Senchu's sword buff greatly benefits her.
There is no escape.
And this big guy isn't really my problem in this floor. The real problem in this chamber are those flying specters around. Because sometimes they don't... You have to chase them around the map. See? I still have to chase them. So if you don't have enough DPS to take them down before the time, then you might have a hard time making this chamber on a 3-star. And as I was saying again, Raiden's electro damage is good against those specters. And we're now going to 12-2. For 12-2, this is the Magokenki. For this, you initially can't attack him yet, but used it as a chance to gain energy particles. So for this fight, my main source of damage would be Shanling and Ayaka. So I wanted Shanling and Ayaka to recharge their elemental burst as fast as possible. For Ayaka, I tried to use Diona as the battery. Like whenever I cast her shield, I try to quick swap back to Ayaka so she can absorb those particles. While for Venti, I tried to use his E ability as often as I can because it also greatly helps with the DPS. So whoever your DPS character is, try to recharge their elemental burst as fast as you can.
Brace yourself. Take flight. Let's play.
It's like the Magokenki is like a time attack challenge, because if you don't kill him fast enough, the second team will greatly suffer for having less time fighting their opponents. But it's just a matter of proper DPS rotation so that you can DPS him down fast. So for this are the Frost Mage and the Maiden. For this, I wanted to prioritize killing the Frost Season Mage because I don't want her to start teleporting around or even casting this annoying cryo shield. So I wanted to DPS her down fast. So I'm just filling up Raiden's burst, and there. Once it's filled, I wanted to use it against her because for me it's easier to kill the Maiden, because after she teleports, she just stays in that place for quite some time. So that means you can unleash everything on her, making her easier to DPS down. Just trying to fill up the resolve stack of Raiden here before I cast it. And there. So try to fill Raiden's resolve stack as much as you can. But it's really not mandatory to fill it up to 100%. If you think you're not gonna make it in time, it's quite okay even if you cast it halfway. Even if she only has half of her resolve stack full. It's okay as long as you properly manage the time. So for the last chamber,
Yahoo!
these are the only opponents for the first half. It's like they miHoYo intentionally just put these two ruin guards here so that you can kill it fast, which will give you more time to kill this more tanky boss on the second part. So for this boss launches into the air. If he starts using that ability where he launches into the air just like that, you can just stay on that place and start casting your burst. And as you can see, Bennett and Kazuha are really amplifying everyone's damage significantly. So just stay focused and maintain your DPS rotation as much as possible. And there you go, another Raiden burst. And as you can see, you can really cycle her elemental burst in the spiral abyss a lot of times compared to the outworld. It's like the Raiden Shogun is meant to be used in the spiral abyss, since her elemental burst is so fun to use and also does a lot of damage.
Now you shall perish.
And it's almost done here. So to summarize everything, 11th floor is, because of the corrosion debuff, is more on properly rotating your characters so that you can heal as much as you can, or alternately heal everyone as fast as you can, while the 12th floor is more on a DPS time challenge since the opponents there are tanky. And these are the character setup for my F2P account. And I only have a simple setup, lots of copium artifact, and this is my F2P account. So it means if I can do it with my F2P account, that means you can also do it with your account. You can also finish Spiral Abyss with ease. Just focus on having a proper DPS rotation and knowing how to cast your skills at the right moment. And I hope this video somehow helps you, or you find it entertaining to watch. And once again, thank you for watching. Till next time.